Alright guys, today I'm going to show you guys how to make a really good bread pudding. These are the ingredients you're going to need. It's going to be 15 eggs total, a half a bag of brown sugar, which is going to be 16 ounces, and 1 cup of confection sugar, and then also 6 tablespoons of vanilla extract. Then later on we're going to put first 5 whole eggs in there, and then 10 egg whites, half a bag of brown sugar, which is 16 ounces, and 1 cup of powdered sugar, then 6 tablespoons of vanilla extract, and we are going to make sure it whips really nice. So we're gonna let this whip real quick. You want this to kind of fluff up, like as if you were making a souffle. We're gonna let this fluff up, and then we're gonna add the heavy cream. When you add the heavy cream, you just want to stir it in there. You don't want to whip it. You don't want it to get like thick, like a thick consistency like whipped cream. You're also gonna need 8 quarts of bread, just chopped up. You can use end pieces of bread, or you can use whole loaves. It doesn't really matter what kind of bread you use, but we try to use white bread. That's the consistency you're looking for right there. And then we're gonna add our cinnamon, which is gonna be 3 tablespoons of cinnamon. So I added 3 tablespoons of cinnamon, 1 tablespoon of nutmeg. And now I'm gonna add in my 3 quarts of heavy cream. I'm gonna put that in there and give it a nice little stir. Like I said, you don't wanna whip it, you don't want it to get thick, you want it to be a liquid consistency. Alright guys, so I do all these videos by myself. I have no help. So now our next step here, we're going to want to saturate all this bread. So you want to pour it kind of evenly all over it, and then we're going to let it sit. I usually like to let it sit overnight to make sure everything gets saturated. You don't have to, but after this gets well saturated, we're going to strain it out, because you don't want it to be too wet when you put it inside your pan. So that's all there is to it. I'm going to put a couple plates on top of it to kind of smash it down a little bit into the liquid. Alright guys, there it is. We're going to let it sit in there for a few hours. I would recommend you let it sit overnight, but if you don't have the time, just make sure everything's well saturated. Alright guys, so after you let it saturate for a while, we are going to strain it out. Alright guys, spray your pan or rub a little bit of oil on it so it does not stick. And then we're gonna take this, and what we're gonna want to do is we want to create a bottom layer first, and then we're gonna add the chocolate chips to it, because if you let the chocolate chips fall to the bottom, they'll burn and it won't taste that great. Alright guys, when you get the whole bottom of the pan lined with the bread, you're gonna want 2.5 cups. You're only gonna use about half of that. So give it a nice little coat of chocolate chips. Then you're going to put the rest of that on top of that, and then we're going to do another coat of chocolate chips. All right, guys. With the rest of that bread on there, we can go ahead and put the rest of the chocolate chips on there. Just give it a nice coat. And that is what it should look like before it goes in the oven. Now we're gonna put tin foil over the top of it, and we're gonna bake it at 350 for 1 hour. All right guys, she's all covered in tin foil. Now we're gonna put her in the oven for about an hour. And then when it comes out, we're gonna take the tin foil off and put it back in for another 30 minutes to give it that golden brown delicious color that we're looking for. All right, so if you guys own a restaurant or you guys don't like waste, this is what's left over after I strained it. If you're gonna make another batch, you can go ahead and use the same mix, as long as you're not gonna save it for another day or anything like that. Because if you guys know, like I know, you know that heavy cream is very expensive, especially if you're using 40%. Oh, and for your guys' information, if you guys ever want to try any of these recipes and don't want to cook them, come see us, man. We're on the corner of College and McGregor in Fort Myers, Florida. Our address is 12731 McGregor Boulevard, Fort Myers, Florida, 33913. And we would love to have you guys. All right, guys, after an hour in the oven, this is what it should look like. And we're gonna put it back in there for another 30 minutes to give it that golden brown delicious color. All right, guys, here's the finished product. Got that golden brown delicious, nice and sturdy. You know what I'm saying? It doesn't move around. You know the inside's nice and done. All right, guys, so we're anything but basic. So we're gonna add 1 scoop of vanilla ice cream. And of course, caramel drizzle. Cannot forget the powdered sugar. There it is, guys. This thing is so good. Well, I hope you guys enjoyed my recipe today. If you guys liked what you seen, like and subscribe, support the hustle, man. We'd love to see you guys here in Corleone's and come try out our delicious food, man. And if not, you can always make it yourself.